South Jersey, bad boys. Threw a little bit of a...
I thought we were going right into the that genre.
Our little jingle.
Yeah.
Our typical jingle.
Well, I was going off the jingle we submitted to the radio stations, so I wasn't sure. It's going to come on at the 5 o'clock.
Have we heard anything back from those guys yet?
No, they haven't gotten back to us. No, they. I think we scared them away with the intro, with the songs of us singing that.
Yeah. Well, we're practicing.
That's the important point. Yeah. They didn't even want our money. They said that your money's no good here.
Comment in if you want us to keep doing different jingles or just stick to one, because I'd love to see what the people think.
What which way their listening ears. What kind of vibe do they want out of this podcast? Because we jump all over the place.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah,
and we've been getting so many comments just flying in, and it's been hard to keep track.
It's been hard to keep up. We both have our own jobs and own lives going on and things that we got to do. And,
so you got to give us some time, people. You got to give us some time to respond to all of the urgent questions. We know you love the pod. Yeah. Everybody's saying it.
Yeah.
The rates and reviews have been out of this world. We get it.
Yeah.
But you got to give us some time. We're just two men.
Just calm down with it. You can send some mail to our P.O. box.
That's true.
Over in Belmar. We set one of those up the other day.
Yeah.
And the fan mail that's been coming in there. A few death threats.
Couple of threats.
Yeah.
couple of threats.
Couple of cease and desists.
I'd say 60-40.
Yeah.
Threats to fan mail.
More
60 threats.
60 threats. There's if you factor in the legal action that people have been talking about taking, there actually is a funeral home named Ralph's in Deptford, apparently. So
is it really?
I have no idea, but if there is, they definitely sent us some paperwork from their lawyer.
Yeah. What the fuck, dude? Bringing up, fucking putting our bad name.
Yeah, talking about our business model on your podcast.
Yeah. Dragging our name through the mud.
Yeah.
Ralph's does great work.
They do go great with it. You don't get any stronger cardboard boxes than you do at Ralph's Dead Bodies.
No, they use the finest of cardboard.
Yeah, they absolutely do. That's what you can do. So, in the past, what's your experience been going? Have you ever gone to the XTU concert in Camden? Have you ever been down there? Was that? I know we've talked about the country girls on the Riverline train going down there, because that's what I experienced.
Yeah.
So, what was your overall impression of that?
In high school, it was the same thing, probably that you experienced, but you would just try to catch the concerts that were coming through when we were in high school. What was it? Tweeter or Susquehanna?
Then it was the Tweeter Center, and then it moved to Susquehanna, and then BB&T.
Yeah, so whatever it was at the time, you would try to catch the main concerts that they would always have the same ones. Mm-hmm. You'd always have a Blink-182. You'd always have XTU. You'd always have Dave Matthews
and Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. Maybe you get like some punk bands in there. Like you might get like the Fray.
The Fray, yeah.
They're not a punk band. But they would have these random ones that would roll through, and you'd try to go so that you can sneak some vodka in a Gatorade bottle with your friends.
Yeah.
And that was like just a great excuse for you to go drink and pretend to be cool. And XTU was one of those where country was getting popular in high school around the South Jersey, that everybody would go to. Every girl was like, yeah, I've always been on country.
Go out and try and win the free tickets. They would do live events places that you had to win the tickets from. They were free, but they made it really impossible to get a hold of it.
Right. And then you go to the concert, and
if you make it into the concert.
If you make it in, a lot of times you get blacked out and you throw up before you even get in there, and you don't even listen to the music. You're really just trying to make out and maybe get a couple sticky fingers.
Yeah. Get a few jabs in there.
You get a few jabs in.
That's all you can ask for. Yeah.
You get in, you get out. That's high school. And you had a lot of fake country fans. But everybody, like XTU, was always that excuse of like, let's go to the XTU concert and we'll get fucked up and we'll tailgate it. It's gonna be sick. And then it's just like you getting sunburnt in the hot sun, chugging warm, gross vodka with a little bit of Gatorade, and then just kind of roaming around, getting lost in Camden, trying to make out with somebody, and then eventually having to call your parents to pick you up. Yeah,
pick you up from one of the sketchier parts of town.
Yeah, that was mostly my experience with the
well, it sounds like a good one.
It shapes you.
It does. It does.
It really, turns a boy into a man.
Yeah. There was a lot of people we would go down there with in high school. It's the biggest underage drinking thing. It's like to the point of where if there was like actual 30-year-olds there, we're like, oh, you weirdos. What are you doing tailgating a concert? This is for us 16-year-olds.
Yeah, you would always see that like when you would go to the concerts as a high schooler and you would see adults there and you'd always think that they were the weirdos. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now you're like, you guys are ruining this. Yeah, like you kids should not be here.
Yeah, that's how it is now. It's funny how things change over time. Mm-hmm. One thing that's continued changing, speaking of this, is that the concert venue where XTU was is changing its name yet again. So not only are people like, is it the Tweeter, the Susquehanna Bank, the this, the that?
BB&T.
So it's owned by Live Nation, which is a whole different thing. I didn't know Live Nation owned it, but that's what Live Nation does. They buy up as million things as they possibly can in every market so that they can use Ticketmaster through them. And then
shout out Live Nation. They've been a sponsor on the pod since day one. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
So they are now going to call it the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion.
Freedom Mortgage Pavilion.
They're changing it from BB&T to Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. But here's the list of the timeline of the different names. Every 7 years, roughly, it changes.
So we got all the names here.
It was the Blockbuster Sony Music Entertainment Center from 95 to 01.
Yeah, okay, so we don't remember that.
No.
We were too young.
01 to 2008 was the Tweeter Center.
Okay, so that was little shy of maybe when we were going to some of the concerts there, except when I saw... my first concert ever was there, and we saw Aaron Carter. My mom took me and my cousins, and he came out in a fucking scooter, and he sang like "How I Beat Shaq," and we were yeah. Let's get some snacks. Can we get cotton candy?
Yeah.
And it was probably the best concert I've ever been to.
He played my college the year after
I
left. I wasn't there. It was the year after. But
did you go back though?
No, because everybody that went there, apparently he bitched out the entire crowd and lost his shit because they wanted him to sing all of his hits from when he was like 12 years old. And he had a new single he wanted to do, and they were just booing him off stage, and he went on a rant and then left. It got on TMZ and everything.
What songs did he have I didn't even know I thought he was just like doing drugs and porn for the last
That's what I thought so. Yeah, I think he was like doing his own OnlyFans account or something like that, right?
Dude, did you see he did a celebrity boxing match? He got the fuck beat out of him by Lamar Odom.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Why would they amazing that they let this happen, because if I would have known it was happening at the time, I would have paid for that fight.
Yeah.
I would have paid to watch that. But the fact that they let Lamar Odom versus skinny ass drug addict Aaron Carter. I mean, one goes to show both these guys are really doing bad with their money.
Yeah.
And two, it's just crazy to see how far people can fall. Like they were both. I mean, like
he's child superstar.
Child superstar at the superstar Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
And NBA player dating Kardashian. Then he's found in a hooker's bathhouse, passed out doing drugs or whatever.
Yeah, and there goes. I mean, he can have the song "That's How I Beat Shaq" as long as he wants, but he will never beat Lamar Odom, and he can't have that song.
Lamar Odom should have sang that song.
Yeah, I feel like they should have done that and then sold that on iTunes for even more money. All this stuff, like he somehow, I wonder how much he got paid from that fight, but it was probably substantial for him to be like, oh, I just have to basically show that I'm at the lowest point of my career. I'll do it.
And like he was already doing OnlyFans. I'm sure he was probably cleaning up on there. People pay to see anything on there. So I hear.
Yeah.
And he really fell from grace.
Yeah. It's sad to really see that happen, but it happens to the best of them, especially those singers of "I Want Candy." It just doesn't go well for them. I think
that was a banger, dude. I Want
song,
Candy.
Wasn't that a
sounds a little pedophilia-ish to whoever wrote that? Now looking back on it,
yeah, I think he it was like a cover of a different song at some point, wasn't it? Or it was based off an old one. There was something with it. Man, Aaron Carter. He was kind of like the pre-Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah,
because he was just a solo guy. He didn't have to go join a group like his brother did.
Yeah.
And
he didn't make it out alive. They ate him up.
Yeah.
And honestly, for making a song like I Want Candy, which is a horrible message to the kids, I personally offended as a diabetic.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch, dude.
So how much were you singing that song then? Were you just,
He's the reason that it put my entire health into a tailspin. Because I heard that song and I said, Aaron can eat candy. Why can't I?
Yeah. And then you just started doing it. You were shoplifting at Wawa and just downing Twizzlers that you stuck in your socks for.
That's how it all starts, dude. You start popping a Reese's, and next thing you know, you're getting the king size, and then you discover Reese's sticks, and then you get the Reese's eggs, and now they're doing, you know what they have in the king size? 6 fucking cups, dude.
6 cups in the king size
6
now.
Cups
Not
in
the standard 4.
Now. What are you guys doing? If they put 10 in a package and called it a king size, I'd eat it all, because I'm like, well, I'm not a bitch. I'm going to finish the whole thing.
They keep getting bigger. They keep getting better. It's like those Parks and Recs episodes where they went and got like the XL cup and they were like 420 ounces.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
It's going that way.
And they try to spin it like it's like, oh, well, actually, it's less calories or something. You're like, this is 3 gallons of cola.
Yeah.
There's no way this could be healthy for you. But have you noticed that? Like they actually, that's for real. It's 6 cups for the king size.
Really?
That's an option.
Man, if anything, I thought things were going backwards. Like they were shrinking a lot more. But I guess,
that's what I had thought. Like they weren't calling it king size anymore. They were calling it, like they tried to change the branding of that so that I forget what they changed it to. Oh, what was it? It was not king size. It was like share size.
Oh,
so that
that's
encourage people to share. But I think that didn't fucking work, because we've been fat for so long that people were just like, they were
just hoping it'd be like, oh, it's share, and then humans just see and they share. I share, and they just think of like anybody that's like advertising those types of products really thinks that the end user is like dumb as a doorknob, and it's like they just see the word share and then they share it with their stupid friends, and then no one realizes what happens to what they had. And it's just,
you know what? It probably deterred their sales, because it did. People see share size and they go, well, I guess I'm supposed to share this. I really want this all to myself.
Yeah.
And then you feel like a piece of shit if you eat the entire thing yourself, so you don't even get it. And now they're like, bring the king size back. Bring the king size back. No one's buying it.
The king size, you get the family sized in there. Yeah. King is a word that's on its way out the door in today's society.
Yeah. Yas king.
It should be, instead of Yas king.
Queen size.
Where's the queen size candy bars? We want to start a timer on how long until that needs to come out. I'm going to say.
If there's a king size Reese's, why is there not a fucking queen size?
Yeah. And they have the family size candies too. How
that's the equality that we're all looking for. Is in candy bars.
Not everyone has a family either, so you're gonna have to be a little more sensitive.
True. You got to be sensitive to the orphans.
And sharing
like candy. Orphans love candy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just sharing. I mean, what if somebody doesn't have someone to share with? Because a lot of these people complaining about these types of topics don't have people they would be able to share a candy bar with. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, man, I really slipped into a very homophobic gay man voice. Stereotypical, easy too. Like, I feel like I felt great.
You felt right at home.
Yeah, I just fucking slipped right into it.
You just came right into
like
it.
Like my nightie.
Yeah,
like I do every night before I go to bed.
And you might have split personalities. You're gonna be like the subject of an M. Night movie pretty soon.
Split. Yeah. It's a great movie. M. Night. Great director. Yes, bitch. When's the next one?
Oh wait, so we gotta keep going. We got Susquehanna Bank 2008 to 2015, and then BB&T from 2015 to 22. So these are in 7-year cycles. They changed the names,
and they just keep getting bought up.
They just keep getting bought out.
So Freedom Mortgage it's
my mortgage company.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's their place, and they said people are returning to shows in record numbers. I love these quotes from Live Nation, and then Freedom Mortgage says live music events are unforgettable moments, and the Freedom Mortgage
Pavilion. I had some unforgettable moments at those Live Nation concerts. You remember who you are, ladies.
Yeah. So now when you have those unbelievable, unforgettable music moments at live music events, you can thank Freedom Mortgage for it. You're going to be, all these horny teenagers are going to be in the back of their heads like, oh, remember that time at the Freedom Mortgage? Hey, wait a second. Aren't we getting a house pretty soon? It's like, yes.
You know who I'm going to go with? Freedom Mortgage.
Yeah, because that one time I was fingering that girl that I forget her name.
Concert.
At that Blink concert. It was what's it called? The Freedom Mortgage Pavilion? That's right. What are their interest rates looking like?
Yeah, the ultimate freedom.
Yeah, the ultimate freedom. The freedom to finger bang and get a loan. And what more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for? That's all really anybody wants. That's what I like to call 1, 2, 3. The American Dream.
Yep. We hit that perfectly.
We nailed that.
Freedom Mortgage has been doing the American Dream ever since 2022, as they have been supplying the key name in a role of the lasting memories for fans, is what this guy said. And they're going to be lasting memories for many of guys that are cheating on their wives at these concerts. They're just going to remember where they were when they got served those papers.
Let me ask you this. 7 years from now, if they're changing the name again, you're obviously high up. You've worked your way up. You're doing your thing. They go, Dan, you get to pick the company that we're going to name this after. Yeah. What company would you name it after?
I would name it after the company that I started a few years ago. It's actually a shell corporation off of 73 down towards Marlton. Okay. Call it an after-hours juice bar, but in reality, it's a gay strip club called 9 Inch Males. And we're going to funnel everything through there. And it's going to be what do you think would be a good, like, Pavilion's a nice word.
9 Inch Males. That is large.
It's a large and in-charge venue.
I'd pay a ticket to see that.
You would pay for a ticket to see that, and underneath of the 9 Inch Males Pavilion, right? Or
wow.
Do you think Pavilion's going kind of soft? It might need to got to stiffen this one up a bit,
juice it up a bit for the juice bar.
Yeah, so it's just the juice bar. We're going to stiffen things up, really, work hard to get this. We want to erect a big name at this venue.
I can't believe that you fired that off so quick.
Oh, the 9 Inch Males?
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's real. You want to go after
that? Is a real place?
It's my place. I own it. It's the LLC is in my wife's name, but I own it. I sometimes on weekends will serve wings. It's a whole thing.
How are the wings?
They're not bad, but we just buy a bunch at 7-Eleven and then double the cost and then sell them there.
Is that ranch? No.
No,
it's their own special ingredient.
It's a little special.
Here at 9 Inch Males, we like to make everything in-house.
Yeah, when we say in-house, we mean behind those doors in the locker room.
That had to have been a male strip club that you've seen before, 9 Inch Males.
9 Inch Males, it is not one that I've seen. However,
so you just whip that out? That's an amazing strip club name.
I've heard the name somewhere before, and I don't know how it came to me. But,
either way, whether it's a real place or you came up with it, I'm impressed.
There was a real place, though, with a similar sounding name, which I am appalled. They have not been in business for many years now. It used to be over in Bristol, right over the Burlington-Bristol Bridge. Very familiar with this location. It was called the Eager Beaver. And it was a adult novelty store. Not only did they have an adult entertainment section, the whole shebang-a-bang, they had private viewing rooms that you can go into and watch movies and just basically unload in there and then leave. And
Pee Wee Herman would have loved that place.
Yeah, that's like one of the places like that used to be in Times Square in like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
It's that kind of place.
God, we really...
Peep shows.
We were born in the wrong time period.
We really were. We were born around the time where we had to go with other teenage whites to Camden to get drunk at country concerts.
Yeah, but then we got the internet. And now you have access to anything you want in your pocket.
Whenever you want.
Whenever you want it.
Yeah.
9 Inch Males. Wow.
9 Inch Males. It's a great spot.
So let me ask you this. If it had to be a real company that you genuinely like, real company, whether it's, McDonald's, whoever, that you go, you know what? I actually really appreciate this company. I would name it after them.
You know what I'm going to name it after? Because we're going after the American Dream, and nothing more American can you do to name a live music venue that has a lot of country concerts. We're going to be naming it after Raytheon. Raytheon, who creates those ballistic missiles they send into the Middle East.
Well, that's popular these days.
It is. It's very popular. A lot of people are supporting it, and they're an American harvested on American soil.
And we've been saying we got to make more stuff in-house in the U.S. of A.
In the U.S. of A. So now we're not only making these ballistic missiles, but we're also sponsoring the Jason Aldean concert at the Raytheon Pavilion.
I'll tell you what makes me go ballistic. Missiles.
That's absolutely right.
I apologize for that joke.
But yeah, if we can name it after Raytheon, I mean, who would you choose? Who's your... if there was just one corporation that you could just, marry today.
God, it's tough to say. I would say...
Let's say it on three.
Sure.
All right. Here,
1, 2, 3.
Nabisco.
Chick-fil-A. Now, I would say Chick-fil-A if they weren't so against the marriage of, some good friends of the podcast.
Yeah. Yep.
the gays, the lesbians, and anybody that's not just a straight white Christian. Unfortunately, they have those weird values. For some reason, they're a fast food place that makes chicken sandwiches, but they got strict values, and it's just really unfortunate because I got to say the chicken sandwiches are so good.
And you know what you do with that? There is a Chick-fil-A stadium or bowl or something like that somewhere. I believe in Alabama. So. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Yeah. They love the fried chicken down there in Alabama. Who doesn't? We all do. But what else do they love down there? Their core values of Chick-fil-A.
All right, so scrap Chick-fil-A. They're off the table because we have morals and values.
However, you could really, if you want to loosen those morals up, talk to Chick-fil-A and get them to serve on Sundays only inside of your location that's named after Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, make that.
That's how you sell some ticks, get some quiche,
And then, we're doing good.
Yeah, and we'd be doing good in the neighborhood, and that's been their slogan since.
That's Applebee's, actually.
Well, we might have to rethink the sponsorship then. All right. We'll have to revisit it.
Applebee's not a bad one.
Applebee's isn't because
I owe them a visit, dude. I have not been back there in a while, and for no good reason. It's amazing.
You don't have any strife against Applebee's? Or?
No, I've always enjoyed my time there. Any birthday party that my parents took me there for,
Yeah.
Any celebration dinner we would have was at Applebee's.
Oh, so you were at Applebee's. We were always a Friendly's kind of family.
Well, we were Friendly's for a long time, too, because there was one around the corner. And Friendly's, amazing. Yeah. Amazing establishment.
Yeah.
That's actually, maybe we go with Friendly's. It's a great name.
We'll have to go with Friendly's.
And we need to bring them back.
We got to bring Friendly's back. If they're not bankrupt already. I was at a Friendly's in the Gloucester County outlets a couple years ago, and a woman there with her kids came up to me, and I was wearing a hat, and it was in the wintertime, and had a coat on. She thought I was Carson Wentz.
Really?
Was like, what in the hell? And I was wearing a Wentz shirt underneath of my coat, and she's like, "Well, you were wearing a shirt." But I'm just like, would you think Carson Wentz is walking around wearing his own T-shirt? Like
he probably is.
Yeah, he very well may. He loves Chick-fil-A. I can tell you that.
Yeah. I could see that, dude. If you had a hat on, you got a little bit of a reddish in your beard, and from afar,
it has that kind of tint.
You're fairly tall.
Yeah,
I would take it as a compliment.
We can go with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gloucester County as well, that one guy that we talk about from there all the time that we've had some run-ins with,
Gloucester Joe.
Not even Gloucester Joe. This is a guy that's near and dear to our podcast and our hearts. But when we run into him on the streets, it gets out of hand a lot.
I have no idea.
It's Mr. John Montag, comedian John Montag.
Fuck that guy, dude.
That guy has his own podcast, and it's called The Handsome Idiots, and it's with who are the two handsome idiots in the Philly scene? Jim Gillespie and John Montag.
Yes.
It's Handsome Idiots podcast. Yeah. Have you listened to it recently?
No, I don't listen to that stupid podcast. I mean, honestly, if you guys are listening right now, the South Jersey bad boys are coming for you. If we see you in the streets, we're going to smack your dick off.
Exactly, and that's what I had to tell them via direct message on Instagram the other day, because they talked a segment on their podcast most recently within the last week with Podcast Wars, and they were trying to think of a Philly podcast. They didn't even mention us. They went at the necks of every single Philly podcast that's out there and didn't even have the gall.
And we're the leading South Jersey podcast.
We are the leading South Jersey podcast.
If you check the charts, we are the leading South Jersey podcast.
Yeah, we're right up there.
I think, how do we start this beef with the Handsome Idiots? First of all, number one, we got to find out who's even on that podcast.
Yeah, I usually just see pictures of John Montag, but it's like he's the one involved with it, and whoever's his side piece on that podcast isn't putting in the time or the effort. That's what it seems like
Probably
to me.
A real handsome idiot.
That's why I said Jim Gillespie. If it's not him, I mean, who else would it be?
I have no other guesses outside of that.
Yeah.
But John, there's just...
It's got to be the two white guys, because John doesn't really want to, Gloucester County roots. He doesn't want to expand beyond usually pretty white men.
Yeah, that's the Gloucester in him.
Yeah, you can take him out of Gloucester. You can't take the Gloucester out of it. Yeah, exactly.
You could take the Gloucester out of the boy, but you can't take the boy out of the... Oh,
what can you do? Speaking of local comics, Mr. Gary Sharp is from Burlington Township.
Hey, Gary.
And there's a bit of an issue going on up there. The neighbors around a proposed Popeyes restaurant aren't too happy.
Oh, that sounds Racist.
Let's see what they have to say here, because future neighbors of the place do not want it there because of potential traffic problems, food waste, cooking odors, and noise.
Yeah, we know what that is about.
From Popeyes.
What is there currently? Is it a different fast food place?
I think it's just an abandoned restaurant right now that's there, and Popeyes wants to move in. And my question coming into this, which is why I've picked this particular piece, is: have you ever seen a Popeyes that's had a traffic issue outside of it? Because I've been to a Popeyes one time. I'm not exactly the guy that's causing Chick-fil-A like traffic.
Yeah. Well, no, because I'll be honest, and this is me. I am not a racist person.
Just let's get that out there.
Let's get that out. But I haven't eaten at Popeyes that much.
Yeah.
And I have heard it's incredible. And black friends of mine have told me Popeyes is the GOAT.
Yep.
And they've told me, like, there are times where there's lines around the block, like there is at Chick-fil-A for the whites.
Oh, okay.
Like how white people love Chick-fil-A.
The African American community feels the same way towards the woman that sings from Louisiana or something.
If we're going to cancel anybody on this podcast, let it be you.
Yeah. Just like
so, I'll start the idea and I'll let Dan finish it.
But it says it's a 24.
We all know that's just the facts.
Yeah.
Talk to any black friend of yours; they will tell you Popeyes is great.
And I've never been there. Have you been to a Church's Fried Chicken? I went to it one
There's
time.
The one on the White Horse Pike.
I've never been there.
Maybe when I was years ago.
Yeah.
But I have not been in a long time. I can't believe it's still open.
Yeah, they're killing it. They're killing it there. And these I mean, it's trying to pop up. It says it's a 24-seat eatery with a drive-through, but it's going to be causing a lot of traffic problems. Usually, you talk about traffic problems with like a Wawa.
Yeah, not a drive-in.
A fast food place.
And
it says the developer's demolishing 2 houses to make way for this 2,500 square foot restaurant.
Worth it. I mean, Popeyes is probably incredible. I can't. It's pretty mind blowing that I haven't had it.
Yeah, I only went there one time, and
I think it's just because there's not one locally in our South Jersey district. I mean, at least close to our current homes.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's not something that's just right around the corner.
Yeah,
but usually
that's what it is. It's just proximity. Like when I was growing up, there was a McDonald's and a Wendy's that was closest, so that was always the number 1 and number 2.
Yeah,
there was a Burger King in Belmar.
Yeah,
but that was too far.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna walk my ass all the way to Belmar.
I know
for
that
some
Burger
chicken
King
fries.
Yeah,
but if I'm driving by, if I'm in the neighborhood,
if you're in the neighborhood, just like me, whenever I'm in the neighborhood of a adult entertainment venue.
Yeah, you stop in.
You just stop in. You got to show face.
Yeah, you say hello to Jerry. That works there.
Yeah, Jerry's the one that mops the man juice off the floor in the back.
Mops up the mess.
Yep.
He sells the tapes.
Yeah.
And he
the security tapes
trains the interns.
Yeah, what do interns do at a place like that? That's a
just miscellaneous.
It's just a box that just says miscellaneous. Yeah,
just lots of miscellaneous stuff that can't go on a resume.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so we'll see. I mean, we'll report live from this Popeyes.
Yeah, maybe we go check it out.
See people outside protesting with some signs of all white women, like just protesting about the noise that's going to be emitting from the Popeyes.
Yeah, that's so stupid because the traffic, it's only going to be built around if you're like urgently trying to get a sandwich at Popeyes.
Yeah. And these neighbors have expressed that they believe Popeyes customers would ignore traffic restrictions.
Whoa.
So
what are you saying about Popeyes customers?
They're trying to build a persona of a Popeyes customer, and apparently a Popeyes customer doesn't really drive that well.
We do not support this article.
No, we might need to go there and plan a protest. We'll create an event on Facebook. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
We're going to protest the people protesting the opening.
Yeah, we should see if we could get a fast food chain that's not very popular like a Church's.
Yeah.
Get them going again if we really rally behind them. Maybe that's who we named the BB&T Center after.
Church's
Chicken.
Church's Chicken.
I don't know if that's the full name.
The Church's.
Church's.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly. We'll call it like an amphitheater or something. Church's amphitheater, and people will get a couple different, reactions
selections.
to it. Yeah.
Have you ever been to a Checkers?
Oh yeah, yep. I've been to a Checkers, and they used to have a bunch around, but Jesus! I mean, talk about going right through you.
Yeah, that's like Pizza Hut for me. If I eat Pizza Hut, I mean that. who God knows where that comes from. Pizza Hut, like how they make that stuff.
No, the only restaurant I would recommend over any, really, not only because of my bias as a spokesperson, but it would definitely be Friendly's. Just those ice cream sundaes with the Reese's on the top. I mean, talk about a diabetic
face out of them.
Yeah, they make the face out of it. Talk about a diabetic nightmare. And to think that the woman that built that ice cream sundae for you just got finished smoking a cigarette and she was just putting it all in there, and you could taste the ashes.
That was the nose of the ice cream sundae face.
Yeah,
the 2 Reese's cups is the ears, the cigarette was the nose, and then it had 2 M&Ms for the eyeballs.
Yeah. And sometimes she would swap out those M&Ms as the eyeballs with Percocets, but most of the time the nose was
South Jersey, baby.
Most of the time the nose was a Newport, so that was good. It was good. Well, and I have had
little cigarette tint to your ice cream.
Yeah.
Tasted good.
Yep. And I actually had a very strange experience in a Friendly's when I was a kid.
Well, you don't say.
Inside the Friendly's men's bathroom, the one in Cinnaminster on Route 130.
Okay.
I was in like 5th grade, and do you ever go into a place that had stall doors on the urinals?
Yes.
This is the only place.
Stall doors.
On the urinals.
I thought you meant on the sides.
Oh, no, like there's a door behind you.
No, I've never.
You could go up to a urinal and close a door behind you so that you're literally in a like 2x2 stall.
That sounds like the worst idea ever, because I can imagine a bunch of drunk people going in there who really got a shit, and then they get in there and they're like, pants already down. They're like, okay, well, I'm shitting in the urinal.
Yeah, exactly. They just close the stall, they turn right around, and they're like, wow, since when do you sit on something wet like this?
Imagine, dude, I think in high school somebody did that. Somebody shit in the urinal.
Yeah.
Like as a prank.
As a joke. Yeah.
How fucked up that is? Like, who is the guy?
I know the guy, and it's my buddy's dad who's a janitor at the school. That's who it was.
And you got to send him in. I would quit on the spot. I go, no, I know. I am not.
They'd be like, hey,
you can't pay me enough to do this.
Hey, Brendan, put down the mop in the classroom and the touch-up paint from the hallway around the lockers. Yeah. We got a situation in the bathroom.
Dan, just got a little job for you. No big deal. It's going to be fun. Just bring your mop, normal stuff that you're used to, and then you get in there. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, get that biohazard bag just in case.
Oh, my God.
So we were in there, and you had the bathroom installed. I thought it'd be funny to lock all of them at the urinals. So then anybody that wanted to use the bathroom, it's not just the stall that's locked, but the urinals are. So it's like, so this old man then comes walking in, and I'm like, all right, fuck. So I go under, and I unlock all of them for him. He thought that, like, I didn't do that, and that I was just a good Samaritan that's like, this is fucked up, but I'll get on the sticky floor and help you out. So after I leave the bathroom, he comes strolling out, and he had a walker, and he comes over to the table I was at with my family, and he leans over my shoulder, and he puts a $5 bill in my pocket, and he just says out loud to everybody, he's like, thanks for the help in the bathroom there, son. I was like, holy.
I can explain. Mom and Dad.
Yeah. Everybody glared at me like, what the hell just happened?
And then they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. And it's like, to this day, I don't know, and I'll never know, because that guy is most likely dead now. This was 20-something years ago. I don't know whether he knew what he was doing saying that, or if he was just like...
It sounded like he sincerely was appreciative of your help and did not realize that you were the mastermind behind all this.
Yeah, and then by the time he realized how he worded it, he was already getting handcuffs put on him.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, there was no handcuffing of any child predators at that time. It was the 90s.
Yeah, people were just fucking letting them fly.
Yeah, we're just letting them go. They're like, hey, have you ever heard of Jeffrey Epstein? He's a great buddy of mine.
Yeah.
And, know
who's my favorite musical artist? Michael Jackson. He actually invited us to stay at his house for 3 months.
Yeah. So
you're going to stay for the first 3 months. I'm going to hang out on the beach.
Yeah.
He gave me a free trip.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be amazing.
Well, worth it. Yeah.
Have fun.
It's well worth it. Speaking of crimes, too, this isn't a South Jersey one. I saw this news station, by the way, is WAF. WAF 48. WAFF 48 on your side.
What does that stand for, WAF?
I think it's just like the, it's Huntsville, Alabama. So we're
white as fuck, friends.
White as fuck, friends.
WAF 48. Okay, so a woman says getting arrested was on her bucket list since high school. Deputy says, well, you set the bar high.
Yeah, yep.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. And it's a 19-year-old Florida woman.
It only took her a year, too. She had record time.
She was driving recklessly in Key Largo when a sergeant pulled her over. She did not pull over for quite some time, and then she came to a stop at a three-way intersection, and she told the lieutenant after getting pulled over that getting arrested was on her bucket list since high school. She was taken to jail and charged with one felony of fleeing and eluding police. So 19 years old, she has a bucket list that she's made since getting out of high school.
And she's already accomplished.
She's accomplishing her goals, just like us for trying to hit the goal on YouTube of 100,000 subscribers. We did that in 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And she's here knocking out bucket list items a year after getting out of high school. And getting arrested in Florida isn't that easy.
Right. I applaud the hard work behind this. And what was I going to say? I wonder what she was originally even getting pulled. Like, she might have just had a tail light out and then she just fled the scene.
That's what I read it as.
Well, we were going to let you go.
Yeah, but she wanted to get arrested. It was on her bucket list.
Yeah.
But, like, what do you think clicked into her? Like, she was driving reckless. Like, she just went out, and it's like, I hate to tell you this, but it's rather easy to go out there and just, drive recklessly and hope you get pulled over. I mean, how many crimes have we committed combined that we haven't been arrested for?
Who knows?
It's too many to count. And this was just a major accomplishment to go out and get arrested because it's difficult.
I wonder if this was just something that she said in passing, was just pissed, like the cops pulling her over, and it's like, you know what, you fled the scene. Like, she's like, you know what, this was on my bucket list anyways, like as a joke, and then they quoted her, and like she actually said this was on her bucket list.
Like, why go like? That wasn't a bucket list arrest, though. Like, if I wanted to, if I had,
something big,
like if you had to make a charge that was going to stick on a criminal history of yours, and it's going to be a bucket list crime for you to commit,
I would punch somebody in the face, somebody that is really worth it to me, that I've been wanting to punch in the face in a public setting.
Yeah.
So maybe I shouldn't say too much because I'm afraid I'm actually going to get in trouble. But a good punch in the face in public could be funny and fun. Yeah. And then like it's going to get broken up and you might have to take an arrest for it. So then you get the punch in. Yeah, you get that in, and it's just one of those like legal questions where it's like, what would this be charged? Because it's premeditated. You might be looking at felony assault, but it's got to be a really good like. I don't know if like stealing boxes of Girl Scout cookies outside of a Walmart. Like, no, I do that anyways. I'm trying to think that's just a normal everyday occurrence. Yeah. What's something that we could I could stop paying child support. Yeah. We'll see if that's kind of an everyday thing as well. Stealing a car. I mean, stealing a cop car. Stealing a cop car. And going on a wild chase, like it seemed like she had some good ideas. Like she started to run, but then she just pulled over and stopped. Or she might have got scared a little bit. Mm-hmm. But she had the right idea. If you go on a wild chase, that could be fun as your first arrest. A little joyride. Yeah, a little joyride. I'm thinking like maybe like steal someone's ATV, and then when cops start chasing, you just get like turtle shells you throw back at them. Yeah. Banana peels, the whole bit, and you just try and do it that way. Because I mean, if someone getting a video of that, if a news camera came out and got that, or like doing a catch me if you can situation where you pretend to be somebody, like you pretend to be a doctor, you pretend to be a lawyer. Yeah. You pretend to be. And there's a crime for pretending to be a cop. Yeah, that's a good one. That's I'm trying to think of like people that have gotten in situations like that have gotten pretty far. That's really funny. That's something we should look into for future episodes. But like people that just like that always makes me laugh. People that just completely fake their way into something, but then they don't get caught for so long. Yeah, like somebody who like pretends to be a substitute teacher for 3 weeks, like the guy, like Jack Black in School of Rock. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like hilarious. Yeah, the guy in the movie, which is one of my favorite movies, Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio. It's based off a true story of this guy Frank Abagnale Jr. And he was very intelligent, smart guy, and he was the first. I don't know if he was the first guy, but he got so good at forging checks that he traveled all over the country because he was making fraudulent checks, and then he got really good at making fake diplomas too. So he faked like a law school diploma, a medical doctorate certificate, and he wound up faked his way becoming a doctor. Like got hired, was like on call and being a supervisor as a doctor. He became a lawyer. And he became a pilot too, and he just faked his way through all of that for years. Flew all over the world, and was smart enough that he didn't get caught for a long time. And one of the interesting parts in the movie, Tom Hanks plays the cop
to catch him.
The detective that's trying to catch him.
Yeah.
Catch me if you can. And he finally, spoiler alert, he gets him, and he's flying back, and he just keeps asking him. He's like, how did you cheat on the bar exam for, to become a lawyer? Like, I don't understand how you faked your way through that. And he's like, I didn't cheat. I just studied for 2 weeks and I passed. So he's like, clearly already a very smart guy. Could have just done that. But he was like, let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun with it. It's like knowing that you could like almost ace like an SAT, but it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's still pay someone else to do it for me.
I love that.
Yeah. The balls that takes, it's wonderful.
Yeah. So it reminded me of that because in the beginning, and I'm pretty sure this is true, he faked to be a substitute teacher. He was going into a new school, and he said he already looked a little bit older by that time, and he just walked in, pretended to be a substitute, wrote his name on the board, and like he taught their history class for like 2 weeks before he got caught.
That sounds so like believable because in my school districts growing up, like there was different substitutes all the time. There were a select group that we would constantly make fun of until they reconsidered their careers. But there was a lot of ones we would never see all the time. And it very well could have just gotten into school because you show up and it's a very much like a act like you belong type of place. If you walk in there with a polo tucked into khakis
and a briefcase,
they're like, yeah, that's Mr. Whatever the fuck you substitute.
My dad's friend, he said when they were in high school, tried to do it because
when he was in school though.
When they were in school, so they were like 17 or 18, and his buddy went to a different school, but he looked older. Yeah. And they had him dress up and come in as a substitute and like try to. And he said as soon as he got in the door, they were like, "Get out!" Like, I don't know how they knew, but like immediately got caught and threw him out.
That's hilarious.
But I'm like, hey, dude, I respect that he even tried to get in the door.
Yeah. Because I mean, just having the balls to go in there, you're going into a fucking school.
Yeah.
But he was in school at least, so that's different. It wasn't like it was your dad's friend that was doing it at like the ripe age of 49 or something. Mm-hmm. I was a substitute teacher though. It was very easy in New Jersey. I don't know if the listeners there know.
You were a sub?
I was a substitute because in New Jersey, all you need to be a substitute teacher is 60 college credits.
What?
That's as far as education goes. You need 60 college credits, which is only like sophomore year of college. You need 2 years of college under your belt.
Maybe I'll become a sub.
$90 a day.
Whoa.
You don't work any nights or weekends or holidays.
You're done at 2 or 3?
Yeah, you're done at 2 or 3 o'clock.
Out.
You could go to any school district. I mean, the only problem is like the school districts I was doing in my district. So I had all my former teachers like as my colleagues now.
Right.
And they were like, oh, I didn't know you were going into teaching. It's like, I'm not. The laws in this state are very loose when it comes to teachers.
And that's where you met your wife.
Yep, that's where I met her. And her grades were good. And I was putting gold stars on it everywhere.
That is disgusting. We do not condone that behavior.
We don't condone that behavior. We're not that
just
old.
Enforce it.
Yeah. We don't condone it, but if we see it happen, we'll be like, right on for you.
It stinks that it does feel like you have to say that about anything that's clearly a joke.
Yeah. We're this is totally going on a permanent record somewhere. But I was watching. Maybe we can wrap on this whole thing, as this could be a pretty wild story.
Sure.
This new Netflix show. It's a movie documentary. It was an hour and a half. It's just one episode. It was called Our Father, and it's about this guy who was very religious, but he was a fertility doctor. So he would help women get pregnant that were having trouble getting pregnant, or that needed to be artificially inseminated, or couldn't have kids, so they needed someone else's sperm or whatever. The whole process, which I didn't know.
Is this with Jason Bateman?
No.
Thinking of something else.
Yeah, it must have been something else. Yeah,
sorry.
And I didn't know this, but most sperm donors, they don't usually use a sperm donor more than 3 times.
Right.
I thought you could just go in there, pop some out, get paid, and you could go there every single week.
That's what I've been doing. They haven't flagged me.
Oh, that's what we've been doing. The same place we go, and I later found out just this weekend it was actually a Wendy's. It wasn't even a.
Wow.
We were using the Frosty.
That's why they kept letting us.
Yeah, that's why we only got free Frosty coupons. We didn't get paid cash.
Well, take it. Honestly,
at this point, you have to.
Wait, so what?
They only allow sperm donors to donate 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Because usually wherever you're donating it, or the fertility clinic, is in a close
general
area.
Population.
So you don't, cause incest by having 100 different of the same siblings that could end up dating and not know each other.
I wonder how often that happens. Because of
it happens apparently.
And I bet you they implemented that rule because of some fuck ups where all of a sudden they were letting that go, and then they're like, hang on a second, we're starting to look a lot alike as a town.
That's what happened. You know what kickstarted this whole story was that the 23andMe. because they do a DNA test and then it shows them how many siblings they have. This girl found out that she had 24 siblings.
Oh my God!
So
this guy was just popping them out for the town.
He was the doctor at the fertility clinic, and he was using his own sperm that he would masturbate to in the other room, fill the needle with it, and then inseminate women. And they thought they were getting some other guy's sperm because there's a whole thing that you like choose the type of person.
Whoa!
Like, you know, hair color, skin color, all the traits and genes, characteristics that you want.
It took them that long until like enough babies popped out.
30.
Like, this is not what I wrote down.
30 years later, and these people are all half siblings. At the end of the documentary, there's a ton, but I won't say the final number. But during the documentary, there was 54 different half siblings.
Oh my God!
And the guy hasn't spent one day behind bars.
Really?
There's no law against it.
Oh my God!
There's no law against it.
What a loophole!
Yeah, this guy found a loophole, and he's apparently a part of a cult member of a very, a very crazy religious group that believes you have to get your seed into the world and spread it everywhere. And that was his way of doing it. What
a psychopath!
Yeah. But like, there's 54 half siblings that found out about each other, and then
were they interviewed in the documentary?
Oh yeah, it was basically following around the ringleader of it. They went on Dr. Phil. They did a whole bunch of stuff, but it was all because 23andMe people start submitting their DNA.
Right.
And now that this came out, this guy's name is all over the place, and more people are going to see it. If their parents went to see him before they were born, they might do the test, and then this could get into the hundreds of half siblings from this one guy.
Did any of them accidentally date or anything because they were in the same town?
Not that they said, but they were talking about that.
There's probably a couple slip ups that
there's probably a few.
We're not going to bring it up on camera.
It's like, hey, this 23andMe, did you get it back? It says we have the same dad. It's got to be. We paid $100 for these.
Like, no. Luckily, we never crossed paths. That never happened.
Yeah, turns out a whoopsie. Whoa. Yeah, so
that is wild. That's a story that you can't even believe is real. Like that's straight out of a movie. I'm sure there is. I think there is like a Jason Bateman
movie about that. Is he a fertility doctor?
No, I'm completely. There's something that's like they mix up the sperm or something, and it's a mess. But it's not.
If it was a Jason,
people.
If it was a Jason Bateman movie, they really need to work that into like a prequel to Ozark. Like, that would be nice.
I think it's something. I think it's a movie with him and Jennifer Aniston, and I think that she's trying to get pregnant via the same way, and I think somehow his sperm gets in the mix, and they were friends beforehand or something. But then it turns out they were meant to be together and have a bit. I assume. I never saw it, but anyways.
But yeah, but if
that's crazy, man.
If Jason Bateman put on a brown wig, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between him and Jennifer Aniston.
Both hot, super hot,
both super hard nipples,
super hard nips. Great actors.
Yep.
I would.
Yeah. And then, anyway, back to our...
Sorry.
We just needed to get that out there. Jason Bateman, we'd love to have you on the pod.
Yeah, please. Respond to my DMs.
Yeah. So the guy basically ended up fathering 54 half siblings, but there's no federal law. They kind of passed one after the fact. The thing that they got him on...
What about lying, like, as a doctor to your patients?
You think it'd be fraud, but then these people were saying there was also rape. And I'm like... Or even we were like, I don't know, it's a bit of a stretch calling it. It was non-consensual, but it wasn't. That's a whole different story. But
yeah, it's a different type of non-consent. Like they got a case for that for sure. It's a different type of non-consensual behavior where like I did not consent to this. So like by definition that probably would be considered that.
They basically passed a law where this happened in Indiana where they do
thank God they started there.
There was something about lying on fertility, something like they made it specific to him because it wasn't something that was there. Like
there should be certain laws that are implied where they're like if you do something like that and they're like, well, technically you didn't say that we can't, and they're like, you knew you couldn't do that.
Yeah, you knew that
we're locking you up.
Yeah,
you fucking dumbass.
It's like if somebody's coming and doing door-to-door multi-level marketing scheme sales with some knives. Like, the knives aren't meant to kill somebody, but it can damn well happen.
Right, exactly. Like you get up, you smack your teacher in the face. You're like, you didn't say I couldn't do that. But you know that it's probably going to get you in trouble and is against the rules.
The one thing that they did get him on was obstruction of justice because he lied in some type of interview that he initially did like before they got him in, like before he eventually admitted to it. So they got him on a felony. It was a level 6 felony of obstruction of justice. They fined him $500. He got no jail time.
Oh my God.
I was like, how does somebody not get jail time for a level 6 felony?
I don't understand that too, because the level of lies on that, like, wouldn't a doctor lose their license or
For medical malpractice.
Or like, what if you are diagnosing somebody with something and you purposefully tell them, you give them, hey, I'm giving you Tylenol, but really I'm giving you Advil, and you purposely lie. This guy purposely is like, I'm inseminating you with all of these characteristics from a random donor, and lied, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I thought, that would be an open and shut case, that it was fraud, because not only that, when you go and you donate sperm and stuff, you have to fill out a whole medical history form. If you have anything, like, you wouldn't be able to do it. If you're diabetic, they'd be like, nope, you're out.
Bunch of bullshit.
So who knows if that's not, he skated right around that process. So it's a pretty wild. I highly recommend it. It's only an hour and a half long.
I'm checking that out.
There's a lot of talk about sperm. There's a lot of talk about this old guy, and it's pretty wild that there's no federal law saying that that's illegal.
Yeah, we'll have to check the laws in New Jersey.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go down to the sperm clinic that we'll have to find a new one.
Yeah,
since I don't think we're allowed in the last one anymore.
No, not after your incident.
Well,
but we will talk about that in a different episode.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But yeah, I mean, check it out. It's called Our Father. It's a very
hilarious name for that too.
Brilliant, because the guy is very religious. They talk about the religious cult and his things before it, but then it's everybody's father in the thing too.
Such like a cute, quirky name that works perfectly for a horrific crime.
That needs to be one of the things that you would see, like, when watching cable TV, come like dancing in from the side, like, Our Father coming up at 7:00 Eastern, 8:00 Central.
This would be fun to watch.
Yeah,
like, oh.
Yeah. Then it just shows the guy's face on there and like smiling and everything, and then they get on there and it's
Local
just this
doctor lies and fathers 54 illegitimate children.
Yep. And then he even said that he doesn't consider them his children.
Let's turn back on American Idol.
This is a little too much for me tonight, Harry.
A little heavy, I think, for Jimmy.
Yeah.
7.
Let's turn on American Idol and just look at Katy Perry's tits.
She's got a rack on her.
Well, that's all I got for this time.
I think we covered everything we wanted to.
We talked about fraudulent infertility doctors, Popeyes traffic problems, even the Camden Waterfront name change, and people who want to get arrested on their bucket list. It's our bucket list too, and we're getting there.
What more could you want out of the South Jersey Bad Boys? But,
did it again, and the Handsome Idiots had nothing to do with it. No, they won't even show their face over here on this side of Camden County.
Oh my God, not even close. I mean, we've invited them on the podcast to kind of squash this beef multiple times, and they keep denying.
Yeah.
Well, one, because we've been trying to figure out who's on the pod. We've narrowed it down. We know it's John Montague.
Yeah.
And but we've invited them on. They completely deny our request, and I think they're just afraid of what the public is going to really think. And we're cornering the market in the South Jersey comedy podcast.
Yeah.
So what can you do?
We got it. We have to do what we continue doing. They passed this off to their publicist to try and book a possible interview, but I called the number and all it did was call up one of the bowling alleys over in Cherry Hill. So I don't know what's going on with their podcast, their studio, their publicist. I don't think it's going right for them, and they're just trying to get views by attacking us because we're raking it in.
It sounds like they're really in a dark place and that things are not going well.
So I mean, the holidays aren't nearby, but we should get them a gift certificate to a therapy session somewhere because it's not going to end well. It never does with these types of South Jersey beefs.